the controls and different things that you will need to know when you are building, but just let me get set up here so that I can make sure that this is set up. I will not have ads on while I'm live. So, okay, so let me get my chat on, get my thing. So, maybe you're brand new to Sims. Maybe you've never played Sims before. Maybe you're kind of curious about learning how to play Sims or build in Sims. So this is basically for someone who has never built before, or you might learn something in here. The things that I'm going to share, the basic controls, but things that actually help you, you know, like some of the controls you may have never even heard of before. So I'm hoping that this will be helpful to you. If you learn even one thing, I would really appreciate if you give the video a like. Meanwhile, let me get my chat set up because I have a lot of people that watch my chats that maybe aren't really interested in Sims. Okay, so I will check the comments as I go along. So like every couple minutes or few minutes or so. So every few minutes I will check the chat. Okay, so just be patient with me. All right. But basically this video is specifically for a tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to start, okay, with going into build mode. But first I want to do is just kind of give you the rundown of the controls. So this is Sims 4. You can go to your EA app on Google. You go to Google, you download EA, and then you will download Sims from there. You can download Sims 4 from Steam. I kind of recommend to get it from the EA just because sometimes there's issues if you get stuff through Steam that may not have full function. I don't know, I've heard that. So anyways, I just recommend get it from EA. I'm not like for EA over Steam or anything like that. Anyways, the game is free. It didn't used to be, but in the, I think it's 3 years ago, they made Sims 4 free to play. So you get 3 basic worlds, which actually has a hidden world, so a total 4 worlds that you can build in. The hidden world called Sylvan Glades has a tiny 12 by 15 lot that you can build on. And building is actually a creative activity that gives your brain, it helps with stress release. It actually, the more you use that part of your brain, the easier these kinds of things come to you. So if you feel like, oh, I can't do this, I struggle, I just say, tell yourself, I can do this. Listen, I'm in my 50s and I literally learned how to build in Sims 4. And when I first started out, I didn't have a clue. I didn't even know how to do basic stuff like, see this wall right here? I'm going to start with the very first control explanation is this right here. This angled box looking thing, that is for you to put your walls up and down. And then this little arrow right here helps you to go up and down between stairs, and then also, put your roof on. So when my Sims would go upstairs and they would disappear and I didn't know how to follow them because I didn't know the basic things. That's how very beginning I started out, and so my first build it was so awkward. It felt so awkward. I didn't know what I was doing. But I watched videos and I learned how, and I love it now. And I'm always learning. I'm continuing to learn. This is a build I did yesterday. This is and it was a little tricky. This I would say maybe a little bit more of an advanced build. Okay, but I'm going to show you some easy stuff. I'm going to take you through all the controls, what everything is for somebody that's never played Sims before. Okay, but this is basically an attic, a functioning attic, which may not seem like a big deal, but in Sims 4, to have angled walls like this as part of a room doesn't exist. Okay, it does not exist. Okay, so this right here is your build mode. This is where it would take you to another whole place in the game, and that basically, this right here is go to manage worlds, right? And that would take you to the main map where you have different worlds that you want to go into. This is your gallery. Now this you will be able to use while you're building if you want to download a house, or you want to download a sim, or you want to download something specific into your build. This is for shopping. Again, this is for going in between floors. This is for your walls up. And this is if you want to center onto your current lot, it'll just kind of move you to position like that. Like say if you're using free camera and you're way over here or something like that. This is for if you need help, okay, you can go into here, click on that, and again, left click on the mouse. This is your camera control, which basically, you know, if you want to rotate your view, you can just do like that. This is Sims 4 camera, which is my preference. This is your free camera, which basically you scroll up and down on your mouse, but you can't pan with your right click on your mouse. You have to use your left and right arrow on your keyboard. By the way, I'm playing on a PC, and I've never played on a control like you know, like Xbox or whatever. I've only played Sims on desktop, so I don't know how any controls or whatever for that. To get out of free camera, hit your escape button on your keyboard. Okay, and so then this is your Sims 3 button. It's just a little bit different, you know, and I don't know. I guess because I've never played Sims 3, like you right click on your mouse and you kind of pan left and right to, you know, do like that, go up and down like that, you know, and I'm not a Sims 3 camera user. My preference is the Sims 4 camera. Anyways, and you can use your up arrow to go this way, your down arrow to go this way on your keyboard, your left arrow to go left, your right arrow go to right. And then of course with your scroll mouse, you can scroll down, you can right click and hold it on your mouse to rotate like that. Okay, so there's that. You can also drag it like this. Alright, so let's go into build mode, and this is basically what I'm wanting to teach is build mode. So build mode, okay, you have, I'm going to go into all these things and what they mean. So basically you have make an object or element active, then you have your eyedropper, you can copy an object. This is to your design tool to change your object's color. This is your sledgehammer. Make sure you click on it again, okay, so that when you're like, if you're, you know, because if you don't click on it again, then you'll keep deleting stuff. Let's say you accidentally deleted something. I have to do something first. Oh, I didn't like that, what I did. So I would just, don't unclick this, just click on the undo and it'll put it back. Okay, and then click on that and then take that away. You can, with your mouse, left click on your mouse and grab something, okay, to move it. Now let's say, you know what, I changed my mind, I don't want to move that. Just click the cancel button and it'll be like you hadn't touched it. All right, and this, again, that's what that is. This is where you're gonna like, oh, I want to save my build after maybe you edit it or something, and then you would click this and save it to your library, or you can upload it to the gallery. Let's say I don't like the position of my house. You could click on this, you can move your house, and you can move your lot. This is your bulldoze. You cannot undo this. So if you bulldoze, there's not an undo button for a bulldozing. So make sure you are certain if you want to bulldoze. You can bulldoze, like if you can bulldoze, flatten the terrain, because sometimes, let's say you get a house in one of the free, you know, base game worlds, and you see that there's like terrain that's not flattened. The easiest way is just to flatten terrain. So that's what those are for. This is for changing the lighting into night. Like you can, like if you're doing stuff like I add lights and stuff like that, and you want to see if it's enough light for what you would want, okay, or maybe you put some lamps up here, you want to see if that's going to be enough light for nighttime, that kind of thing, or you just want, you know, different lighting. I generally will build in the afternoon light because it gives me the most light, except for when I'm adding lighting, then, you know, that it will be pretty like at nighttime. Okay, now all of this over here is going to be your build by. Now this box right here, this is your inventory. So if sometimes you'll get things like your Sims will get gifts you may not even know about. So you want to check your inventory. Like all these are gifts. I have no idea where they got this. Okay, so a lot of times they'll gift each other stuff, or they'll find or they'll get presents. Like if you have presents from the seasons pack or whatever, or another sim may have gifted them something. But a lot of times they'll end up with like this stuff. Like we don't. I'm just going to go ahead and sell that. The reason you don't want to keep things, a lot of stuff that you're not going to use, is because what will happen is it'll it'll add to your tax lot. So this, you have a mailbox, which this one's right here, and your sim will get property taxes every week that they have to pay. So the more stuff, this stuff will start building up if you don't stay on top of it. So this right here, I don't know where they got this. Like I just built this house yesterday, so there was nothing in it. So but they've been giving, he's got his girlfriend over and they've been giving each other gifts, you know, so they may have just, you know, that's a 10,000 simoleon computer, right? And sometimes things will end up in there that may have gotten removed from the house. Okay, so now this chair right here is your objects by function. This right here is the pack that you got it from, but if you're playing base game, you won't have any kind of icon of any kind, right? So like this is little campers, this is horse ranch, this is outdoor retreat, this is Discovery University, and so on and so on. This is cats and dogs. This wrench, that's a mod. Okay, so but this is like by functions, and so you'll have your beds, you'll have your cribs, you'll have your chairs, and it kind of goes in by categories. This right here is by rooms. So when you click on this, you'll see these things up here, and this will take you to the objects. Like if you want to go to your kitchen stuff, okay, this is your kitchen stuff, which is this scene right here. Okay, this is your default scene for this objects by room will be this right here. Okay, so you have stoves. If you left click on your mouse, and it'll bring up all the stove, which for base game there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one, because that lock is on it, that means that you have to have, your sim has to have a certain career level. There is a cheat for that, which is basically if you just it's just cheats. I want to tell you about cheats. Hello, cheats is basically, it doesn't mean you're cheating. It just gives you another, it makes you customize your gameplay. That's what cheats mean. It doesn't in no way mean that you're cheating. Like for example, it's like, well, you know what? I don't want my sim to have to earn to use this by having to have a career of a specific type. I just want that stove. Then they're like, okay, well then use this code. And it's basically BB. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and go through, and by the way, when this live stream is done, I will be putting down all of these like commands and these different like controls on your keyboard that you need to know and how to build. I'm going to go through roofing, just different things, how to place quarter tiles, how to move eaves, how to move only one side of a roof eave, and just different things like that that you may not, you know how to do. So the very basic thing, that if you're going to be somebody that downloads builds off of the gallery, say you don't like the base game house and you want to go get something out of the gallery that somebody else built, I guarantee you, I've never seen anybody that doesn't use BB move objects. And what that means is BB move objects is just basically helps them to have more control and have more precise movement. Like if it will only allow you to move your an object like a chair from one square to another. So when you're building, you're going to have like this square grid when you're placing things, but when you have BB move objects, it lets you place it with more precision and not be locked into a square grid. And so when you download something from the gallery, you want to make sure that even though you're not building, you need to have this same cheat on, because the person that built the house you're downloading has used that cheat. And it'll tell you that when you're downloading also. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is Control Shift C, hold them together. It'll open this, see this box up here? This box right up here. Okay? Kind of think of it like a search browser, you know, on your browser on your computer. And then Control Shift C to make that browser thing go away. Control Shift C, open that box up. Then what you're going to do, make sure my thing is, you're going to, and Now, when it comes to cheats, they are caps. Like, I usually type in all caps, like, just in general. So my caps stays on quite a bit. I don't even think about it, right? But make sure your caps are off, because some of these cheat codes or whatever are very character specific, and you can't use caps unless it's scripted to allow you to use caps. So, testing cheats space true. That right there is what you should see to know that your cheats are enabled. That gives you more freedom to do different things while you're building. Next thing you're going to type is, in lower caps, bb dot move objects space on. Now, that is on, and that will give me more freedom in typing things. Now, let's say that I want that stove right there. So I'm going to type bb dot ignore gameplay unlocks entitlement. Now, it seems like there's a, it sounds like, see, and it should tell you that that's on. That way, that's how you know you typed it correctly. So you see the lock is still there. That's just because I need to go back out, click on the stoves again, and then re-click on it. And now, as you can see, it's opened, and here it is. Okay, so, and these are your cabinets, all right? And now this cabinet is different than this cabinet because it doesn't have this hangover. This hangover right here for this cabinet, the difference between this one is this is used for people can sit here and eat. And this one is more like for, countertops, like they placing things on. And the Sims generally will cook over here where the stove is, right? You have your curtains, you have your bar stools, and your trash can. You want to make sure you always get your trash can. You have your little pebbles. And I want to tell you right now, if you build a kitchen, always make sure that you click on this little round thing right here. Place this. You can downsize it, if you don't, it's just too bulky looking, by doing the following: Control, left bracket, left bracket, left bracket. And that makes it so tiny you can't even hardly see it. But I'm going to go ahead and escape that because I don't need that because I already have that. And if you do a Christmas tree, if you put up a Christmas tree, if you put up a fireplace, put up a barbecue, put up a stove, anything that starts a flame, including outdoor fire pits, because Sims will always have fires. So even if I have an outdoor fire pit, I will somewhere hide one of these. I'll size it down and I'll hide it in there. And that way it just tells the script, whatever algorithm or whatever within the game, that we don't want fires there. Okay, so moving right along, this is the bathroom. So here's all your bathroom stuff, and you just click on this stuff. This is your build by, okay? And if you want money, let me go ahead and do the money cheat for building. And again, I will be putting all this stuff in the description. So you would, for money, just type the word money. Then hit the space bar and type whatever amount you want. Now, the only thing about this is it doesn't have an undo button for that. You will have to basically type the amount. If I want it to go back down to 846,351, I'll have to type that number, right? But let's say I want to give them $100 for just whatever. I just added, oh no, actually what I did is that I made their amount, sorry about that, I made their amount $100. So let's go back to 846,000 and $851, I believe is what he had. Oh, whoops, money, 841,000. No, 846,000. Money, space, $846,851, and hit enter. And that just took me back to the amount that I was. Okay. And now if I want to give him $100, what I'll have to do is I'll have to type 846,951. Money, space, 846,951. If you just want them to have, see what it did, it just added 100. If you wanted to have them $1 million, just type 1 and that many zeros to make it a million. And it goes all the way up to 1 million less than 10 million, basically. Okay, so that's if you want to build and not have to have, you know, how are you going to get your money to build? That's exactly how you do it. All right. So, okay, so basically, here's your bedrooms. You click on this. Here's your ceiling items. All your ceiling items right here. Your curtains. Okay. And also, not just curtains, but things that go above a window outside also. So that's why you see these things here. But you can also find these things that go above a window outside. In this right here, this is called, see that? So they're also in there. So let's go back to objects by function, by rooms. And so you have your living room, you got your lamps, your radios. This is wall decorations, and then these are lights, but they're lamps. So these are a specific type of lamps, even though it also shows everything else. So, and then you have sculptures. Different types of decorations have their own categories. If you have pets pack, you won't see any of this unless you have some type of pack. This isn't like base game stuff, as you can see. And then you have indoor plants, and I'm not even going to go into debugger. I'm just going through the basic controls right now. And your TVs, and then you have dining room, and of course you have your dining room tables, which I also use a small square dining room table for a desk if you're using a small room, or you can click on study, and that's where you can get your computer desk. But you can also use, if you have the laptop, which I think the laptop comes with the Discovery University, but I don't know that a regular computer will work with the desk. In fact, let me go ahead and try that. Dining room tables right here. I'll just use a base game. Okay. And so then let's say you click on study and click on your computers. And so here is your base game computer. So if you want a space saving, because sometimes, you know, the regular size desk will take up more room. And so this one is a laptop, comes with that. All right. And then there's also this. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and undo that. And also Control-Shift-C to close my box up there. And then you have, these are hobbies and skills. And your sim can make a lot of money with photography, with painting, with, these are things that you can get from a special event. And I do believe you might be able to get that on, sometimes you can get special events on the gallery, sometimes not. But you have your base game stuff here. They can make money by playing instruments and selling it, writing books. So, okay. Then these are your bookshelves. And you will need bookshelves, otherwise your children will be taken away because they have to do their homework, and if their grades start falling, they will take your children from you. I don't know if people know that, but, and you, yeah, you'll be like, what, my baby, I just got attached to my child sim, and yeah, so these are things you need to know. And this is where you're going to click on this, okay? And here's how you would do this. You would click on it, and then it would say purchase books. And then there's like a drop box where you'll go down, find the homework section, and then you'll click on it and click open, and then you transfer that into the child's inventory. So children and teens have to do their homework, and you need to make them do it. And if their grades drop down to maybe even D or low D, they will take your Sims from you. Sometimes with warnings, sometimes not. So, okay, so then this is your kid stuff. And kids can also learn to play the violin and piano, which is really cool because they can become little prodigy. They can even write music when they get to the higher level. Teens can actually write and publish and make money off of their songs that they write. And then you have paintings, you have desks, rugs, and toys. Okay, now on to the building. Now, all of this stuff, I'm going to explain what every single thing here is. So this is, if you don't feel like building a room, I just want a kitchen, but I'm not in the mood to build, then you would grab one of these. You look at them like, yeah, that looks cute. I'll go with that. And then you would just click buy the room. And if you haven't, like, I don't have enough space out here, I only think to place that. And then you would just place it, right? But if you're wanting to build, you say, okay, I'm just going to work from scratch. You can type B, and that's going to automatically take you into this building tool. Or you can more specifically click on, if you click on this side, whatever you're clicking on will be highlighted. See how that highlights it? It might highlight it in a different color, but it will be highlighted. Like this is your roof trim. This is your chimneys. This is your roof pattern, like shingles or whatever. And this is your freezes and exterior trims, which Basecamp doesn't have a whole lot, but if you just want to add a bunch, I don't really like these because I don't add them in my builds because it doesn't really, like when you put the wall down, it just sits there and it doesn't disappear with the wall, and I don't like that. If they fixed it, I would use them, but I don't. But just so that you know, that's what that is, and it will tell you if it's appropriate height for that or not. You generally need, this is like basic. So when you click on this, just by the way, this looks like a little cell tower button or whatever. This is the height. It tells you what height this room is. Now, each section may be a different height. This one is the same. So this is a house with the attic. Okay, that's a little bit tricky to create that, but anyways. Okay, so this is your floor and your ceiling patterns. Now, if you want to do your ceiling, let's go ahead and click the arrow down and click this right here. I'm going to go ahead and take the walls down. Now click this and ceiling by rooms. Now see what it did? It opened up all this grid here to tell you what you can do there. All right. So, but let's say if you just want to do maybe by tile or by room. Okay, let's go into something else. Now, this is doing it. You can do it one panel at a time like that. Now, your grass is going to remain there until you close and make a full room. Then, now, as you see, it has a top on it. But as you see, it is a completely enclosed room now. Now, you can click escape. Let's say, oh, let me go ahead and adjust this. I want this to be bigger. You're going to see this arrow right here. You can drag it, make it bigger. Now, see this square in the middle? You touch that, hold your left click on your mouse, you can drag it up. Now that will be a foundation. Let's say you want to make, like, I don't know, some kind of nursery room, you know, to grow stuff right here. Make this like a little nursery, whatever, plant nursery. And then you would have to put steps here. This is your steps right here. Steps can be a little bit finicky, right? Now I want to rotate that. Okay, let's say I want to drag the steps. Oh, I'm going to make it to the whole width of the building. Oh, or maybe not. Now, if the steps are taller, but because it's short, you could take this right here, and then you'll have, you know, let's say I don't want it going that far out in the sidewalk, then you can just, you know, turn it that way. Then this right here is copy. Let's say you want to, you know, copy it for somewhere else. Go ahead and cancel that. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and hit my undo. Okay, now let's go to the next type of building. This is your room tool, so you can create boxes. And so how this works is you're going to start here, and if you go this way, then you'll go in this direction, then you go this way.
Okay. And then let go. So you're holding shift and then you let go and then it creates your box. And that just makes it easier. I specifically like to use this tool mostly because if I have an idea in my mind exactly how I want to build and I know the exact shape and everything else, is I just like it that way. But anyways, it's just up to you. Okay. Now this is your, again, your custom room tool. So this way it doesn't stop building like the other one. So you left click and that tells you that you've gone that way. Now you go this way, left click again, and it's putting points on here. Left click, left click. So that way you can do different types of shapes and left click and then left click. Okay, back. All right. Okay, now these are platform tools here, basement tool. I'm not going to go into all of these because I'm just trying to give the base. This is again for beginners, right? Just to give you an idea of what the heck all these are. Okay, so you have your door, you have your ceilings. This is your foundation. Let's say, ooh, I want to decorate my foundation. So let's go in here and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a room tool. Do a quick little box. All right, left click on cancel. That way you're basically ending that action. Now left click on this box. Now I'm going to go ahead and click up here. See this walls up view? I want my walls down just because it makes this arrow that I need to access easier to see and get to. So left click on that, hold it, drag it up. Now I have a little bit of a foundation to decorate. So I'm going to click on this over here. And I think I'm going to go with maybe with some brick. Left click on that. And there you go. You now have a pretty brick foundation. All right. So there's that. Now you have fences. Then you have walls and empty rooms and fences. And then you have this tool here. A lot of people use these for like gardening. Okay, so click on that. So do you see what happened there? So if you don't click on this right here, you're going to have to create a wall and then create a fence. But if you just go over here, or say maybe you want to do a fence right here. Now I'll show you on, grab your hammer. Oop. And then this is how you're going to delete. Now when you click on this, even though you're touching this post part, this end piece, this is what highlights. So make sure you're paying attention to the yellow, because as you see, it's really kind of sensitive, and you see how the bush is highlighted. So make sure you are deleting what you want to delete. And if you delete something accidentally, again, just do the undo button. Okay. All right. Moving on to stair railings. So as you see, this is actually a step, and I don't even have a stair railing on it. Let's say I want to add some stair railings to it. I don't, because I just kind of like that open, because it's just one little step there, and I've got this little guy right here. So, but just to show you, that's how that works. And I'm going to show you a hack later. Sims 4 doesn't have the control that only allows you to put side railings on one. Hello, Ubi. That only allows you to put side railings on one side. So if, for example, you have stairs that are up against a wall like this and not like out in the open, then let's say this part's open and then the stairs are up against a wall. I don't like having stairs railings that clip into the wall, but there is a way that you can do it where you will only have one side that's got stair railings, and that's a hack. So I will do some hack videos later, but I just want you to know that there is a way to do that. But ordinarily, side railings will do both sides of stairs. Okay, so all right, so there's that. These are columns. Let's say that you have, let's say if I wanted to put a balcony here and I have this porch overhang over here, just for example, which I don't, but I'm just saying, let me go into this right here, for example. And by the way, here's what you can do. If you want to make this bigger, you can do Control right bracket. And let's say I'm going to make like a, I'm just saying this as an example. So now I have this, let's just pretend like this is like an overhang or a roof or something like that. I'm just doing this as an example. Okay, so you grab one of these columns right here, and you can just like stick it under here, and another one, left click and let go. And then if you want to raise it up, let's say I'm going to do something, put something on top of that, or just undo and put that back down. That's how you do columns. All right, so got rid of that. And then these are your spandrels, which I rarely ever use because also they do not disappear. Like when you have walls down, let's suppose you have a whole bunch of columns inside the house, because a lot of people will, in real life, I like columns because they're very pretty and a lot of them have detail and they add a lot of visual decor to your house. But in the Sims game, I don't use them because if I put columns on here and just, you know, and all throughout the house, when the walls go down, the columns don't go down with them. And that's why I kind of, I don't know. And neither do the spandrels. And so even though they're very pretty, they add a lot of, you know, personal touch to a build. I personally don't use them. But if you just, you know, build just for the, to, you know, like the way it looks or whatever, I try to keep in mind the gameplay and things that would annoy me with gameplay, and a lot of columns sticking up when I have my walls down. I'm trying to do a video and all I see is a bunch of posts throughout the house. I don't like that. But it does add, you know, especially if you're building something like a mansion or whatever. But see, it adds, you know, it just adds, you know, extra touch to things like that. So if you have a balcony, it will add these to the, you know, and you can do a lot of creative extras to a build with stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel escape on that. And then your chimneys, your roof can, now they have added in The Sims 4 the ability to place plants on top of the roof. So now you know, you can add those. So here's all your different, you know, decorations or chimneys for the roof. Okay, so then here's your outdoor stuff, your outdoor plants. So you have trees that you can have, you have, click on shrubs, flowers, rocks, and show all. This is your pool and fountains. Okay, and pool and room tools kind of act the same like your custom pool, like I showed you earlier. There's your one point, then add another one. Left click again, go this way, left click again, go this way, left click again, go this way, left click again, this way, left click again. If you want to create a unique shape for a pool. And then once you touch, you know, each side touches, then it'll create that little pool, which, okay. And then this, if you just want to do your basic, you know, box room type, you also can use these to make fountains, square pool. It's like, look, I just know I just want this shape right here, or if I want this shape, you know, square, whatever, diagonal. These are predetermined shapes. All right, so then you have your terrain tools. Okay, so we'll talk about this a little bit. This is your paint tool. See this right here? This will determine your brush size. So if you have this way over here, that's going to do your entire lot in like half a second, right? This is your, you know, you can use like square instead of, you know, Then here's your terrain manipulation, which basically this is going up, this lowers it, and you want to make sure I make that all the way down. Like if I'm going to make a little pond over here or something, okay, so I'm going to click on this because I need to lower the terrain. Like I do make little kiddie pools, and you'll see that kind of go down. It's I feel like it's a little hard to see what's really going on because there you go. Now click T on your keyboard, and that will give you looking down. Okay, just so you know. There. I should be back. Until this. Okay. Now I'm going back. Now hit T again to go back into your view. And I'm going to undo that fence. That took me back all the way back to when I was placing the fence. Now to get out of this, just click on something else. Okay. And then you have your water decor. If you want to add that, this is your fountain decorations. Now these are really cool things to put into your pool. In fact, I will show you how it looks. Now keep in mind this big rock over here, when you're placing things by the pool, you need to make sure that you are at the bottom level, which that's the basement right here. So when you place your ladder, make sure you're here. And placing a ladder in a pool might be a little bit buggy, okay? But see these right here? Now I'm going to show you what that looks like. I will use the Alt 9 button to raise that up a little bit, but it's just kind of pretty. See? And at night it's pretty because you can choose different colors. Whatever the color is of that, that's the light that's going to come with it. It actually puts off a little light like that, so the water stream is also purple. So that's really cool, and that is a base game item. And yeah, I like to put a fence around a pool. Anyways, okay, moving right along. Back in, click on these little tool things there, and that'll take you back into build mode. And so we've done, this is kids decorations. I think I've gone through all that. Now, clutter, finding the clutter is you're not like, okay, so let me go for the object by functions. We'll go through that. So you have show all, that's your default drop box. Okay, so then you have these, all the items are by categories. But sometimes not everything shows up. You don't have all the categories that you can choose are here. And I'll show you what I mean. So you have show all, comfort. Okay, so all your stuff that's in comfort. Or you can just like activities. Now, in this box here, let's go up to here and let's click show all. Now, in this box right here, I'm going to type MISC, and that will bring up all the other categories that is more specific, fine-tuned searching for objects. So you have miscellaneous decorations, okay? And sometimes these won't, like the build by in Sims 4 is so massive that sometimes things won't show up. So if you can't find something, you know, usually when you own packs, so if you don't own any packs, you don't have to worry about that. But if you do, you can always go over to here and click on the specific pack, because let's say something I was looking for the other day would not show. It was a type of siding, which I'm getting ready to go into, that I couldn't find. It was a Riviera Retreat specific type of siding that I wanted, and it wouldn't show up in build by. And that's just kind of a bug that's an issue right now in the game. So I had to go specifically into this. So I click on that. Now I have to make sure that this is on show all. And then now go to build, and then wall patterns. Go to paneling, siding, masonry. And there's the siding that came with that particular kit that I was looking for that wouldn't show up. Okay. Now, while I'm here, I want to show you what this is right here. See this little 3-dot button? Okay. So I'm going to stop the filter, go over here and X out of that. This is adding basically seamless glass to your build, which is super cool, which I have up here. This is a roof though. That's a roof style. You can do that same seamless window with this right here. So if you're adding a wall, you can create seamless walls. So this wasn't always a thing in Sims. They just kind of recently added that. So if you say I want a seamless wall, but I want the whole wall to be glass, okay, then I would do this. And now I have this seamless wall, but I don't want that. I was just showing that, okay, just while I was there. And this is your siding, and it's different types of siding. So you see you have masonry, you have rock and stone, you have tile, you have wallpaper, and then you have paint. And it's the same with like flooring. You have metal, wood, and the same thing here. You can, yeah, you want glass floors just because a lot of different stuff that you can do there. And so you can also use your flooring that is for inside on the outside, which I actually did over here. Instead of using your terrain tool, which your terrain tool, go back to over here, would be this your paintbrush. And that will bring up all your different grasses. Some of them are pack specific, but there's a lot of base game terrain stuff. Let's say you want to, you got sand. You can create a little sandbox by just clicking on the sand. And then, then they can like play in the sand and stuff like that with it. It's really cool. Stone and pavement. Let's say, you know what? I don't like any of these designs. I have a specific look that I want. This is what this is. Instead of using the terrain, I would just go over to here and click on this. And I don't remember which one specifically, but might be this one. No. Okay. Now, I'm going to go into some specific stuff. Okay. Now let's go into, let's say I want to create my own design. Hello, hello. Let's got something I'm showing that there's something being held. This message is held for review. Show. Whoop. Sorry guys, I'm trying to deal with my chat here right quickly. Okay, let me hang on just a second to get caught up here. I am doing a tutorial, so okay. I hope I got everybody. All right. So basically, I'm going to show some specific things on roofs and things that will help you in roofing. Now, I want to also show you the letter G will take away your grid view. Okay, now let me go down to the bottom level. Now click G again. And these, like a lot of people don't want to see these right here. And especially when you're like right here, see how this grid thing, this right here is showing. If you don't want that, just type G and it moves. I actually use the grid view. Okay. Whoop. Now, as far as like, what the heck? Let me make sure that I've added her. I didn't. Sorry. All right. Okay, so on this right here, I'm going to add, I'm going to go down here. All right, so this roof is a little bit different because it is kind of a hack in a way. I created a attic room upstairs that's fully functional. And an attic room basically just means it's an upstairs with slanted walls, because in The Sims 4, a lot of unique builds in the real world has a lot of different like wall shapes, but in The Sims 4 it's pretty much square. Like you're not going to have angled walls inside your build. You have to do what's called build hacks to be able to do that. So this is a build that has, the angled walls upstairs. Open that up, show you what I mean. All right, so if I go in here, I'll show you. Walls up. All right, now I don't know why that's open like that. That shouldn't be. I don't know. I just did this yesterday and it didn't look like that, but that's a bug in the game. Walls and floors are disappearing, so I don't want to let that discourage you. But anyways, okay. So let's say, you know what I'll tell you what I'll do, because I want to show these controls. I'm going to go ahead and create a room with a roof. I'm just going to use this box square right here. All right, now I'm going to put a little roof on it. This is where you're going to grab a roof right here. This is the gabled roof. This is your hipped roof. This is your half gabled roof. This is your half hipped roof. And then your hexagonal, just different shapes. But just to keep it very simple, we'll just go with the gabled roof. Okay. And you can use your comma on your keyboard while you're, hold on a second, put this down. So left click on your mouse, whoop, and hit comma. Whoops. Hang on a second, let me undo that. Let me show that. Okay, so comma, so it only works with half gabled. Okay, so I'm going to start with the half gabled. All right, now a half gabled can be sized down to 1 square. So see this right here? I'm going to show you what these are. Your gabled roofs will have what's called these hangovers. So this center part right here is basically your structure, if you will, okay? Like your rafter or whatever you want to call it. It's like kind of like a room in a way. Okay, this is your top part, your roof. So if you want to move this, then you would move this. Put that back. Okay. Now, if you want to move from this side, okay, now, if you want to move these, the top part roof, you're going to grab left click on that. Now, it's going to move it from both sides. But if you only want to say, you know what, I'm going to do something on this side, so I kind of want this hangover over here, but not over here, then you're going to grab this flat arrow that's kind of merged with this thing right here, left click, shift, and then drag it over. Okay, and as you see, it did not move over there, it only moved here. Like, let's say you're going to make a little doghouse or something like that, right? Anyways, I'm just showing you the controls on the roof. Shift, left click, and put it back. Okay. And then left click, move that down. Okay, so there's that. Alright, so now we'll go with just a regular gabled roof. Once you place it on the building or whatever, let's say you want to rotate it, now you can do this. Let's say if you want the roof to go in this direction. And same thing here, left click on your mouse and push that back. And then left click on this flat arrow and push it up. So that way, now, it kind of looks a little funky, but if you're going to add a really thick exterior trim, which I like roof trims. So this one's pretty thick. This one, I think, this one's pretty bulky, blocky looking. So that would be perfect for like a little doghouse. So I wouldn't want that hanging over. I don't know. Anyways, so there's that. Now, if you want to paint your little house, you're going to click on this square over here. And as you see, it's highlighted. Okay, so you're going to grab, let's see, I'm going to make it a little brick house, whatever. It's only going to do one panel. But if you hold shift and then click it, it will do all the way around. But as you can see, then you have this space up here, and you can choose a different style for that. And if you click shift, if you just click, your left click on your mouse, then it will do, it'll automatically do both sides. So now you have this little shed building here. Now let's say I want to change the roof style. I would click on this right here. Alright, so that's enough of that. Okay. Now, F5, let's talk about floor tiles in F5. You can do different things with floor tiles. Let's go into wood, just for an example. Alright. Now, hold F5. Let's say I want to do a different design or something darker. Oh, excuse me. Whoop. Uh-oh. Control F5. Is it F5 or is it F4? Well, I don't know. But anyways, I'll look that up and I'll put that in the description later. But it's either F5 or F4 control. I don't know why it's not working. But anyways, if you want to do like a just like one little section, like if you're just going to do like a quarter tile is what I'm trying to say. Quarter tile. F5. Okay, well, lost my paper. Hang on just a second. Okay. F5 for quarter tile, just remember that. And again, I'll put all the things in the description box. Sister Winnie is in the house. Hello, hello. Okay. Now, for... Okay, so now I want to talk about if I want to create a porch. Okay, so let's go back to this, or B for build. This right here is your porch. Like, there's different things you can do with it, but just keeping it simple, this is for like if I want to create a porch. So the reason this is going to be different than your room is because when you do that and then left click on your mouse, as you can see, there's no walls there. It's just like this flat thing on the ground, because that's going to be your porch. And let's say that I want to click a fence. Click on this right here to put a fence on it. Whoop. You can create like a little, that's for putting something on a ground. That's for like get famous. Okay, we're going to create a little area for children, like little toddlers. I'm going to create like a little play area for them. And then I'm going to click on gates, and it has like a matching gate. Now, right click on your mouse to rotate it. There you go. Now go back into fence. Finish that up. Why is it not? Whoops. A little bit of a delay there. I'm going to do a double gate. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, double gate. Now you have a little toddler play area for the children. And let's say you want to decorate it, and let's say I'm going to maybe put some carpet or something like that for the little ones, the wee little ones. Now, let's say I want to do the whole area at one time instead of one tile at a time. I would hit shift, and there you go. Now you have a little toddler play area. It's gated to keep them in from running off, and you got to make sure to keep your doors locked and baby proof, because them toddlers and them babies, they just open the door and they will leave. They'll be way down the road somewhere. Yeah, that's how they do you. In Sims 4. So anyways, I'm thinking that might be enough for now. Again, I will put
these different things in there. Let's see, what else? What else? What else? Oh, by the way, this is if you want to move your house. Let's say I don't like where it's located, but because there's all these different sections, it's kind of hard to do that. I have all these different sections. But if you wanted to do that, let's say you want to move your house, right? Or if you, let's say you want to move your lot. Okay, but I'm just going to go ahead and cancel all of that. I'm just showing you that that's there. Again, this is your bulldoze, but don't bulldoze unless you're absolutely certain, because you cannot undo it. Unless, let's say you mess up so bad and you don't want, like, let's say, okay, I'm going to go in here right now. I'm going to create a, I'm going to save my game. Okay. And then after I save my game, I do something really stupid and I mess up my build. I can click exit without saving, and it'll be like I didn't do the boo-boo, or something killed my sim or something like that. Exit without saving. But I will always, you know, make sure I save my progress or whatever. So, but let's say, you know what, I don't want to save anything. Even the save I just did, I don't want to save anything. I can just exit my whole session, right? Which is, yeah. But I think the save that I just did will save it as it is. But here you go. And also, here's how you can place things. Is I'm going to talk about placing things specifically. Okay, like for example, let's say I want to raise the height of my roof. Use the Alt button and it will give you more precise movement, because if you don't, then it has specific things that it will lock to. It has only specific, like, measures that it will raise to. But also on roof, you want to hold Shift plus C. Shift plus C. Did you see that? Where these little things? This gives you more controls, more different ways that you can move your roof. So now that you have more of these, you have different directions. Let's say you want to create a rounded top instead of a pointy top, which actually kind of looks kind of cute. Or say if you want to, you know, make a barn type. Or what if you want to do this? You want to just kind of go whimsical, you know? And so you just have, see how that kind of created that little flappy looking. So there's just different things that you can do with that. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to make sure I covered those two controls. So Alt on being able to raise your roof a little bit more. Shift plus C to give you more controls. G to toggle your grid on and off. And your arrow is up here is undo, redo. This is for, you know, your coloring. Let's say I don't like the color of this or whatever. Left click on that, and then it'll bring up your colors, and you can, like, it's kind of sort of like a color wheel. Is about the closest you're going to get to a color wheel. A color wheel gives you more control and different colors that you can create. But this, you know, it's still like, oh, you know, I think this would look, but you left click on this. I'm like, oh, I think this would look better. You know, let's see what this looks like next to it or whatever. I put it down, but I decided I didn't like the color. Just to show you that. And if you want to make something active, I'm going to undo that. And again, this is your night and day. Now let's go into gallery. Open the gallery, because you can use this for let's say I'm looking for a very specific thing. I want an orchid flower that's already grown in bloom and is ready to harvest. Okay, because you or Sim can make a lot of money off that. What you're going to do is make sure you go into gallery right here, item name, and you're going to type here, and you're going to say orchids. Orchid flowers, or something like that. Orchid. why it's not showing up. Orchids. Why is this not showing up? All right, here we go. Okay, so you have flower vase orchid, one perfect orchid flower. Let's say, you know what, one is just perfect for me. Now, it doesn't show that it uses any specific pack content, but let's say if there's a floor square that it's sitting on, that it'll just like remove that. So I'm going to go ahead and place this room. It's just a little thing right here. So I'm going to put this orchid, let's see, where would that be? I'll place it over here. Maybe I'll have a little garden area over there. Now, what you do when you're taking something down from the gallery, you need to like delete that. Now it's just a pot with an orchid in it that is probably ready to harvest. Now, I'm going to go ahead and it says that the fertilizer is depleted. It's out of season because I have it in summer, but the quality is perfect. So if you don't have seasons with your just base game, this would make a lot of money for your Sims. I mean, my Sims became millionaires just off of having an orchid farm. It was a lot to tend to because, you know, you have to tend to, you know, your stuff, but just to show you that. But I'm going to go ahead and delete that, or just undo it, because it's not, I'm just showing how the gallery works. Okay, but let's say there are custom content things on here that make sure you're including custom content. So like if somebody created a specific room, and see this, when you see this right here, this blue wrench means that has mods in it. And when you download it, what'll happen is it'll say you know you don't have these things, and it'll just like not download that item because you don't have the mod installed in your computer. Or if it's a pack, it's included in it, or special event content that you didn't get or whatever, it will just delete the item without whatever it is included in that. Let's say that you want like, oh gosh, let me think, a fountain that has, some will use what's called a tool mod, and they can create things that's really cool that doesn't include packs. And even if you don't have the tool mod, you can still download it. And like, so here's a fountain, but this includes packs. As you can see, when you're downloading something, it'll tell you, well, I don't own these. Now let's say you want to download like a base game house. You got to make sure that you have your BB move objects on whenever you download, you know, any kind of build like that. Base game house. I'm just going to show you how to find houses on the gallery. So this is a really nice, fairly new, was like just done, oh my gosh, today. So this is brand spanking new. And I also do base game house tours, by the way. So if you like to see that, I have playlists on my main page on my channel. So make sure you check that out. So this will show you the different views, but it doesn't show you everything that's in the build. Now this is a nice build. So here we'll tell you what the first floor looks like. You can get an idea. And I like that they aren't using columns inside the house. Okay, the upper level has some on the edges, but that's not a big deal. So that's a really nice looking. I'll go ahead and show them some love. Give them a favorite. By the way, speaking of, if you would please give me a like on this video if you haven't already. I would appreciate that so much. So here is another build in the base game sloped house. That means they probably, this is not base game because it used all these packs. So you have to be aware that a lot of times what happens is this right here was originally uploaded by this person. So they built it and it was base game when they built it. But then this person downloaded it and then they added a bunch of stuff and then re-uploaded to the gallery and forgot to change the name of the title. So you have to keep in mind when you're looking at base game stuff. And this right here indicates that this is too big of a house for my lot, which is only 30 by 20, and this is 40 by 30. So that's, well, I know that I cannot download this house. But I'm going to go to, she does really good builds. Okay. So here you can download different rooms, and so
Let's see, if you want to look at her stuff, click view catalog. And then you can see all of her stuff. And let's say I want to see if she specifically has any base game houses. So what I do is I'll click on this box right here and click base game and see if she has anything base game. She does. She has a lot of things base game. That's an awesome builder. She makes some nice base game stuff. Look at this. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That's a nice build that's base game only. Base game means no packs involved. Means when you download Sims for free, doesn't cost you literally anything. You just have to own a computer or, you know, a console that you can play on. And there's 3 worlds, and there's a lot of things that you can do with your base game build by. So to get more build items and more worlds and more lots, you have to buy packs and kits and stuff. But you can do a lot of things with just base game. So this is a really nice base game, but it's a 50 by 50 lot. And so you would require a bigger lot. I don't think any of the base game, I don't know if there is a 50 by 50 in the base game worlds. There might be. So to have a base game house and not a lot big enough to put that in, I don't think you can use that. Anyways, but most like base now also the other thing about base game builds, let's say you own 1 pack. Let's say you own Horse Ranch, and Horse Ranch has a 50 by 50, also has a 64 by 64. But you don't have all those other packs. So if you get a base game house, you know, if you only have 1 pack, if you only 1 pack or 2 packs, that's pretty close to base game building. You know what I'm saying? I have quite a bit kits and stuff, but as far as like base game structures and walls, and so I only have, I think I have 7 or 8 packs, and so there's a lot of packs that I don't have. So I don't have a lot of houses that I personally can download. So base game, you know, but there's a lot of things that they do. They can do a lot of things with the tool mod. They can position things in different ways that you can't. And even if you don't have the tool mod, you can still download something built with the tool mod. You just make sure your BB Move Objects cheat is on. But they do a lot of really creative, nice landscaping, and this is a nice build right here. And it's only a 30 by 20. So if I wanted to download this, this would replace completely my entire build. So, and you can't undo that, so make sure, you know, unless you leave your session without saving, you can like undo it. But so that's a nice little build. So just to show you, I just wanted to show you an example how you would download the stuff, right? This is a base game with an indoor pool, and this is a 40 by 30, so this is a slightly larger lot. Now there are 40 by 30 lots in the base game worlds. I think Newcrest has some, so this is really nice. But it looks like it has a lot of columns, and yeah, so that's nice. That is a nice build, and it's completely free. This is, you know, that's a nice build for a free, completely free game, guys. Okay, so out of there, and let's see if you want to go, like you found somebody on YouTube and they're an awesome builder, and let me see if I'm going to shout her out because she has a triple heart hotel that I use for one of my triplets weddings. So let's see if I can find her. Sims underscore for Anesia. I'm sorry if I'm not getting her correctly. Yeah, I don't, I think you have to, let's see, hashtag, whoops, no, not there, oh well, anyways, well, I'll show you how you find me. You type, type my name. Okay, so mine is in all caps, because I'm an all caps kind of gal, that's how I roll. I wish these rich people who build these platforms would give us big font, you know, but they don't. So anyways, I don't know if my X is capitalized or not, but anyways, there I am. So here's all my builds. If that's how you find a specific person, and let's say I only want to see the households. Okay, then there's that. I use mods to create these characters here. This is my Mars guy with his different hairdos. There's him with that hairdo. This is the guy that's currently in this house. This is his current hairdo that I have him in, Mars Dubois. And then I created Anthony Dartmouth. And then there is, well, some people's been downloading Anthony. Mars has got quite a few. Generally, when you have mods, they don't get downloaded just because people don't have the mods that's, used, or they don't even look for custom content. Look at this guy here. I've used him. Now, this guy, I play with him, and he's part of one of my households. And this guy, I was just feeling silly when I created him and his. I've used him recently in one of my first ever winter cabin. Okay, so he had a few downloads, and so yeah, this I believe came with the game. This 15 people downloaded that one, and so then this is a robot family. The game made my servo get her pregnant. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it just did that. Like, I didn't even know that could happen, but it did. Anyways, and then here's my library. Okay, so let's go back to the regular gallery, and so I'm going to go to item name. I'm going to look for base game house, and I'll show you base game, whoop, base game house. Oh, right, I have to click lots. There we go. For builds, not people, not sims, right? And let's see if, let's go down here. Ooh, look at that one. Wait a minute, where'd it go? That's kind of nice. Wow. Now that's a 40 by 30, so that's slightly larger. Now you can get these from like Debug. This is a nice build. Okay, but it was originally built by her, so that's what's called a re-upload. That means they basically, maybe they changed something and they re-uploaded it. So this is hers. So if I want to view her catalog, I'll click on that, and then it shows you all the stuff that she does, and she does a lot of modern base game stuff, so that's really cool. So that's enough of the gallery. Let's get out of the gallery. Whoop, what did I just do? All right. Now this lot is titled Civic Clips, but let's say I want to change it. So I'm going to call this Attic House, because that's what it is. It's a unique build attic house. Now looky here, view information. So this tells you if you want to like create, this is your traits, and it doesn't have any. If I want to create a trait for this lot, then I have all these that I can choose from, or you can click this just for randomizing it. If you want to create some type of lot challenge, like for example in cottage living, there's wild foxes that you have to deal with. You're just wanting to like create a specific type of issue or gameplay with your game, whatever experience, then you can create a lot challenge. Or maybe it's off grid. You can you can create that natural light. Yeah, this is definitely. Or there's just different things that you can add to it, like it's a teen neighborhood, then you would start seeing a bunch of teens that show up. Yeah, so there's that. And you can pick up to 3, which I'm not going to bother with it because I'm not going to keep this lot here. I've just built that for the time being. I'll probably be bulldozing that and building something else pretty soon. So, anywho, there we go, guys. Now go ahead and left click on that to be done. I think that's enough for now. I think that building is pretty easy. Maybe I'll grab something and show you how to place it specifically. So objects by function. If I want a specific bed, or here's chairs. Let me go objects by room, and I'll click on this right here, left click on that, and let's say I want to place, maybe I'll put a teddy bear. In fact, I need to put some kind of stuffy in this kids room that's downstairs. Okay, so I did put a kid's room down here, so this is, put the walls up. Alright, now I'm going to go to T on my keyboard so that I can see better. Now I'm going to place this guy here, and I'm going to click hold Alt on your keyboard and then move it, and see how it lets you move it more freely. Otherwise, see how it locks more rigidly. Alt gives you more freedom to position it like that. Alright, now maybe I'm going to grab this kid doesn't have like a toy box, so I'm going to put like just a actually I kind of like this one here, even though it's a nursery. It's an heirloom toy box for toddlers, but you can put it in there. Or, you know what, I know what I'm going to do instead of that. I'm going to grab a chair because I have a TV up here, and he could sit here and watch the TV, or I can put a chair right here for to have a kid to be able to sit. And this is like kid's chair right here. So let me find the right size. It's yellow. I guess yellow's okay. It kind of matches. I'm using my Alt button. I'll place that right there. So now he's got a TV chair. So there you go. So in this build, I put this little dining table because it takes up less space. A little laptop. This is a child's room, and so just give them more stuff. And I could even put something right here in this corner. So let me go ahead and put a planter there of some sort. Actually, watch this. Okay, there's moving right along. I'm going to put this little puppy dog planter here, and here's all your colors. Left, you just kind of scan over it, and I'm thinking this one's cute. So that will go right up on top of that using left click on my mouse. And then if I want to have one that kind of hangs from the ceiling sort of type of plant, this is a free kit, by the way. There are free kits, like the blooming plant kit is free. The holiday kit is free. You just have to go and get it, basically. So it just kind of adds some life to the room there. All right, that is it, guys. So, and here is my current build that I did yesterday. I'll just show you. I didn't put curtains on these windows because I just like the lighting. I want the windows, I don't know. On these windows, I generally do not put curtains on it. So this is what I did yesterday. To hang these pots, you want to like be T in the down mode so that you can see, because they're a little bit tricky to, like, it'll be like way over here unless you're placing it in the T mode. Now this, I enlarged this rug by control and left and right bracket sizes up and down items. And now I will do more specific type of build hacks and different things you can do. How to make a cubby underneath the stairs. How to make a playhouse, like a dollhouse for toddlers. You can turn that into an actual playhouse for toddlers. How to create under the stairs cubbies. How to put stair railings only on one side of stairs. Just different types of hacks. How to create an aquarium house, or just an aquarium, custom stuff, stuff like that. If you go to my home tab and scroll down, I have different types of playlists, and some of those include my builds. So yeah, anywho's guys, that's gonna be it for now, and I do appreciate you stopping in. If you're watching this after this is live, I'm going to do a shorter version of this. I'll probably edit, stuff out or whatever. But do check out my playlist. Please give me a comment. Please give me a like. I really appreciate it. I will be putting different,
controls in the description of this video after I'm done being live. And I will also be creating a video. I'm going to be going over some cheats, different cheat codes that you can use for different things. I'm going to try to create like a cheat manual, diary, or whatever. It'll be like, you know, in one place. Anyways, but this was a little tricky to do. This is the attic, but I don't know why the floors are missing. It wasn't yesterday, so I'll have to probably go in and fix that. But yeah, so that's a bug. There's bugs going on currently, so don't get discouraged if you see something funky. What you can do is just go back to an old save file. um, I've been seeing this a lot lately, and I googled it, and there's been reports of things like that happening. And if you see that, it's unfortunate, but anyways. But anywho's, that's it for now. I hope that there's been something here that's been helpful. Keep in mind that when you do use the creativity part of your brain, it's actually really good exercise. It's healthy for your brain. And never tell yourself, oh, I couldn't build. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If I did it, I think anybody can do it, because I'm like, I'm not dumb. I mean, I think I'm smart, but I'm not like, you know, extra or anything like that. I'm average, okay? But I feel like if you say you can't do something, you haven't tried it, it's like you're cutting yourself short. And it's relaxing, it's fulfilling, it's good exercise for the brain, and it literally will sharpen your creativity skills. It, like, the different parts of your brain is literally like, think of it like muscles, okay? So if you fine tune by using those particular part of your brains, they will get sharper. Yeah, so you'll be sitting there thinking of, oh, I'm gonna make. You just start envisioning builds. I can show you my first build ever. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. It was so awkward. Just trying the first time you maneuver stuff. Don't get frustrated if, like, you know, it's like, oh, this isn't working. I can't figure this out. You know, just keep trying, right? And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Anyways, guys, I hope that you all are having a blessed day, night, evening, whatever it is in your neck of the world and woods, you know, because I have people, viewers from different parts of the country, different parts of the world. So I have no idea what time it is where you're at. But I thank you very much for stopping in, and I hope you have a blessed one. Yeah. Yeah. Did I get everybody in here? Let me say hi to everybody in the chat. Make sure I got everybody. Did I get everybody? Oh, Les Fade is in. Okay, I added you. Christine. I'm just double checking to make sure that I added everybody. Don't miss anybody. Okay. Ezra. Let's see, I got her. Alright. Please give a like if you haven't already. Thank you so much for stopping by. Go, you know, if you see a pink wavy hand, what I'm doing in, you know, it's like basically somebody's interested, you know, to meet other people. Let me go to her channel real quick, and you can just click on the username and you can go to their channel. Show them each other love. Make sure you like each other's stuff, guys. Let me show her some love. And yeah, thank you for stopping by. Okay, there's that. Okay, go to Liz Fade vlog. So if there's a specific type of build or type of, I don't know, tutorial or whatever that you would like to see, just let me know, right? Yeah, just let me know. Whoops. And I will figure out a way to do it. Thank you for stopping by. All right. Okay.
So I think the next build thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over, let's see, I need to go in there and fix that. I'm going to do cheat codes. Yeah, different types of cheat codes. Things that make your gameplay easier, and specific stuff for like careers, and like if you want to summon a specific sim to whatever, um, career hacks, like career hacks, which I've never actually used career. The only thing career hacks that I've used is like promote. I think I gave somebody a promotion once just so I wanted to get the aspiration. Like for example, the Master Chef aspiration to where when they cook something, their food never expires, so I don't have to be stuck with spoiled food. Oh, that's such an annoying thing because they'll put the food in their inventory, and then you're like, the Sims are saying that they're in a bad mood because it's funky and there's nothing dirty there, and you can't figure out why are they saying that, and it's because they're putting spoiled food in their inventory, their personal inventory, or sometimes it end up in your house inventory. And if you have Sims that has the aspiration where the food never goes bad, then you never have to worry about it. You can take food with you, and it can be in your inventory forever, and you always have food wherever you go. It's really cool. I love the aspiration. Plus, it's kind of cool too. Just different types of gameplay cheats if you want to cheat like specific skills to like let's say you're wanting to do an event. Sims does reward events. They give you rewards. Like they did one recently where you have to go to a specific park and you have to go into a cave, but you had to have a handiness level of 10 to even get in there. So, you can cheat your sim to handiness level 10 so you can do that specific activity. Just stuff like that. There's a lot of different cheats that involve in gameplay. And there's like probably a whole manual and book of cheats that, you can use that are really, really handy and helpful. So I'll be going over that. And but this is it for this one.